Okay, is there, first of all, let's rewrite it. Switch your x and y. So that's going to give us x equals negative 1/2 y minus 5. So x equals negative 1/2 y minus 5. Now we're going to solve for the y. What are you going to do?
Add 5 to both sides.
Add 5 to both sides. So we end up with x plus 5 equal to the negative 1/2 times our y. All right, you've got a fraction you need to get rid of. Multiply by its reciprocal. So in this case, it's a negative 1/2, so the reciprocal would be 2 over 1, but we do have to bring in the negative, so it would be negative 2 over 1. Okay, very good, guys. So now over here, you're going to have to distribute it. So negative 2. So what are you going to end up with? Negative 2x minus 10. Now what happens over here, right? The 2's cancel, and the 1's cancel, and the negative times the negative comes back as positive, so you end up with that y. Okay, so that's your inverse. I'll put him up here, which is negative 2x minus 10. All right, now you're going to go to your coordinate plane. You're going to graph. First thing I want you to do is put in the y equals x, your line of reflection, and then you're going to graph your original function, and you're going to graph the inverse. Uh-huh. Because, but your x is not negative, so it'd be negative times positive. And then negative times positive. Any other questions? Okay. Let's pause. Okay, so here's what your there we go. So here's what it should look like. All right, this is your inverse. So you see that the we don't catch the negative 10. It's down here. We've got to keep going. Okay, but you can see here that that's your inverse. Your original had that y-intercept at. Let's go with blue. Hold on. Let me go. You had that y-intercept at negative 5, and then you had a slope of negative 1/2. So you went down 1 and over 2. So there's your original. And here's your line. Here's your y equals x. That's that line of reflection. I want you to keep putting that in there. You see how it's reflected itself? See how it looks? How it matches? The same distance. If we pick those points, they're the same distance from that line of reflection. All right, questions on that one? Okay, let's do our next one. Okay, we have f of x equals 2/3 x plus 2. So first thing we're going to do is what? Is what? Yeah, but yes, we're going to find the inverse. What do we do? Tell me what. Switch. Yes, thank you. Yes. So we're going to switch the x and y. We know that. Get color back. We know that this is the y. So do your switch. Jules, what you need, honey? Oh, thank you. All right, go ahead and solve that. All right, so your inverse, you should have moved over your 2. Sorry. Oh, okay, I ought to redo here. What was the... Okay, so you moved your 2 over, so you had x minus 2 equals 2/3 y. And how do we get rid of that fraction? We multiply by the reciprocal. So we multiplied both of these by 3/2. So put your parentheses over here and multiply by 3/2. So now we have to do what? Distribute. So 3/2 times x is just 3/2 x. Now what happens when you multiply the 3/2 times the negative 2? You get a negative 3. And these guys cancel out, and you're just left with 1y. So there's...
Just do the reciprocal thing,
Do what?
like on the last one.
Mm-hmm.
How come we didn't do that?
We did. We had a negative 1/2, and the reciprocal of negative 1/2 is 2 over 1. We did. Right? 1/2. It's if you take a 1/2 and you flip it, you end up with 2 over 1, right?
This is what I did. I did.
All right, so then you graph. So we're going to graph the original. Let me change color. So we graph our original, and we graph our inverse. So this is our inverse. And we graph our y equals x. So let's see what that looks like. And there it is. Does that look right? Well, why does that not look right to me?